Yo, what's up, people? Wagwan. All right, so today I would like to talk about the Fox X-Men movie swan song that is Dark Phoenix. See what I did there? Because a swan is a bird, Phoenix is a bird, swan song is the last of something, Dark Phoenix is the last Fox X-Men movie. It's pretty clever, that, isn't it? All right, so yeah, this is the last X-Men movie by Fox because they have since been taken over by Marvel. And from here on out, I guess in the future, at some point, X-Men movies can be made by Marvel Studios, and I'm sure, like everybody else, I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure you're looking forward to that too. And if you're not, why not? Like, really? Anyway, that's for the future. But for now, this is the last movie they did. Now, going into this movie, I knew it had some bad reviews. I didn't know what the reviews were saying. I do now because I watched some of them. But I didn't know what the reviews were saying, but I did hear that it had some bad reviews. I heard that lots of people didn't like the trailer. I never watched the trailer, but I heard that lots of people didn't like it. But I wanted to see this movie because I personally really liked the X-Men movies. X-Men 1, X-Men, or X2 rather, and then X-Men The Last Stand. Not so much. When they were coming out, they didn't really do it for me so much. I liked The Last Stand. I know lots of people didn't. Lots of people hated The Last Stand, but I actually liked The Last Stand. Yeah, no, I thought it was a decent movie. That was my favorite of the first three movies. The first couple of, they're all right. I'm not knocking them. They just didn't really do it for me as much. But yeah, The Last Stand, I really like that. Even though everybody else hated it. But certainly since X-Men First Class, I've just thought they've been brilliant. X-Men First Class was awesome in my opinion. I thought that was just done really well. Days of Future Past, I really liked as well. I thought that was just done really good. And it's an interesting story. It was done, multi-layered, everything, all that sort of stuff. I know a lot of people hated Apocalypse. I liked Apocalypse. I thought that was pretty good as well. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I wanted to see Dark Phoenix, regardless of the fact that it was getting all these bad attention, and I enjoyed it. I gotta be honest, I enjoyed it. Now, is it a brilliant movie? No. Is it a masterpiece? Hell no. Is it even a must-see movie? No. I mean, it's a type of film that if you don't watch this in a cinema, I don't think you're gonna be missing out on much. If you watch it, I think you should watch it. If you've enjoyed the X-Men movies previously, or if you just like comic book movies, I think you should watch it. Or just action movies, sci-fi, fantasy, that sort of stuff. I think you should watch it. But I don't think you need to rush out and see it in a cinema. Maybe when it's on DVD, maybe rent it out, or if it gets on Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever it goes on in the future, or TV if you were to wait that long. Then yeah, maybe on that. I don't think it's a must-see rush out movie, but for what it is, I thought it was an enjoyable film. Now, like I say, I didn't know previously what the reviews were saying. I do now, and I will be honest. I feel like they make valid points as to the reasons why they didn't like it. There are some very valid points. You could talk about the character development is not really there. One review, well, not really review. The person hadn't actually watched the movie, but he was talking about why he didn't want to see it, and even still, he made some good points, even though he hasn't actually seen it. He seems to know what he's talking about still. But yeah, that Fox X-Men movies haven't developed the characters in the way that the MCU movies did. The MCU took 10 years to develop, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, and everybody else. Whereas the X-Men movies, it's been, more than 10 years now. It's been nearly 20 years, I think, since the very, very first one. But, they haven't really done it the same way. Each movie doesn't really connect that much with the other movies. Not in any real way. They've all been sort of independent of each other for the most part. Just like maybe little bits here and there that connect. But for the most part, they're not really one long epic story like what Marvel would do. And they're really independent stories. And as such, you don't get the same kind of development with the characters. And yeah, I think it's fair to say that by the time Dark Phoenix comes along, maybe you're not as emotionally invested in the characters as the MCU would have done and that whole thing. But even still, for what it is, it's an enjoyable film. I think it's done. It's lots of stuff it done well. Like it has some really cool action scenes, really cool fight scenes. The story was, it gets you it gets you through the movie. Is it the best thing ever? Probably not. But it gets you through the movie. It tells has a beginning, middle, end. It has basically what story needs to do. But yeah, it's enjoyable. That's my review. Now I'm going to get just a little bit into some spoiler-ish territory. I'm not going to give you major plot points or anything like that, but I do want to talk about some things in just a little bit more detail from here on out. So yeah, here's your spoiler-ish warning. If you'd like to continue with the video, cool. If you'd rather be like, maybe I don't want to hear those bits, even though it's not major spoilers, I understand. But I want to get into some little bits. So, yeah, so as I said, I enjoyed the movie overall. There are some bits about the film that were awkward to me. It seemed very much they were trying to force this girl power agenda a little bit, and it just stuck out like a sore thumb. Like it wasn't done in a way where you could be like, all right, that's a cool thing. It was just like, oh yeah, I see exactly what you're doing. It's just like in your face, like really, there was like, well, maybe they shouldn't call the X-Men, it should be called the X-Women. And then there was another bit, it was like, what, the men don't understand. And it's like, okay, I get it. It's like you could be a little bit more subtle with these things. And it was just very much like in your face. So yeah, that was a little bit, okay, whatever. And then there was a bit that I thought was a really cool fight scene, a really cool action scene. And there's a bit that was set in New York, on the streets of New York. But the issue that I had with this scene is that it looked cheap. It looked like it was done in a studio, and of course it was done in a studio. Yeah, right. You're not going to film on the actual streets of New York and destroy everything. I get that, but it looked like a studio. And that's the problem. As I'm watching it, it looked like it was done on a studio set. Like for one thing, there wasn't that many people, and I've been to New York. New York stayed busy, you know what I'm saying? New York stayed lit, and there just wasn't like, if you look just in the background, it looked empty. Like what part of New York City is this? Like really, which part of New York City at any time of the day do you not have just people, walking around doing whatever? It was just empty. Like nah, this it's a studio where they didn't, they didn't have the money for the extras or something. That's what that was. I'm sure they had the money for the extras. They just may spent it on some. I don't know what they did with that, but it looked cheap. It looked like a studio. But it was a cool scene. That's the thing. It really was a cool action scene. It just, the setting of it the scenario looked cheap. And there's another bit as well where they go to see Magneto, and he's got his own sort of village community that he runs, and there's these guys in helicopters come, and they're Phoenix is trying to, what's her name? Jean Grey's trying to destroy the helicopter. Magneto's trying to save them, and there's a couple of guys in a helicopter, and while you got one person trying to destroy it, one person trying to save them, and the helicopter's, kind of struggling like that. They're inside the helicopter, just moving around, doing or whatever he's doing, like all shaking and everything else. And these two guys inside the helicopter just like this the whole time. I'm just saying, like, if you're inside a helicopter that, is going all over the place, one person's trying to kill you, one person's trying to save you, you don't know what's going to happen, you know who's going to win, it's flying all over the place, and then you just sit there like, nothing's happening, like, there was nothing, no movement, no, oh my, nothing, like, they were just sitting there like, I mean, what? Come on, like, move, do, like, it just seemed like, why would you? I don't know. I mean, but here's the thing, and here's what I want to say about this whole thing, because we could all pick apart things that any movie did that we felt done badly or felt could have done better, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's part of our rights as consumers of creative entertainment. We can critique, we could pick this, we can nitpick, we can do whatever we want pretty much. We can like stuff, not like stuff, like this bit, not like that bit. We can do that, and also well and good. But here's what I want to get at, and here's something that I feel like a lot of the reviews, or at least some of the reviews that I came across, where there were, it seemed like there is and it's not just for Dark Phoenix, by the way. I see this a lot in a lot of movies, especially when it comes to comic book movies, that a lot of times people say they don't like something, Um, it's really down to the fact that the movie didn't do the thing that they thought it was going to do, and I did a video a little while ago where I talked about not having expectations. I think that counts for movies as well. Counts for movies, counts for music, counts for any kind of creative art form. And I know, yeah, there's a whole business behind it, but it's still a creative art form at its core. Any kind of creative enterprise, I feel like you can't have expectations with these either. I mean, yes, the comics might have done something. The comics might have taken 20 years to build this character, and it might have done all these cool things in the comics, and that's great. But the movie is based on that, sure, but it's not necessarily always going to try and do the exact same thing the comics did. The movies are going to do what the filmmakers are trying to do, which is, what it is. Right? That's what Dark Phoenix is. Could they have done something else? Could they have done this instead of that? Of course, you could always pick things apart. But I feel like if your reasoning for not liking something is because they didn't do the thing that I thought they was going to do, I feel like honestly that's a weak reason. You know what I mean? Like, everything has to be what it is and not what you think it's going to be. And if it's not what you think it's going to be, that's not a reason that it's rubbish. It's just not everybody's gonna have the same ideas. The filmmakers get to make whatever type of film they want to make, and this is the film that the writers, directors, producers, and everybody involved with that. This is what they wanted to make. Was it the greatest thing ever? In my opinion, no, not quite. Not even close. But it was enjoyable. I felt like it, as far as just to watch the movie goes, it was all right. It was enjoyable. It does, it's not a must see. Like I said, it's not a masterpiece. I don't think so. Not in my view. But it is what it is. But certainly, it is their right to make it this way. And I don't think any film, whether it's based on comic book or whatever, has to do certain things, and then it's only good if they do this. And I think there's a lot of that in this, especially when it comes to comic books and action sci-fi movies. Oh, it didn't do this thing, and I thought because they have to do this, and no, they don't. No, they don't. They get to make whatever film they want to make. And I think when you don't have and it's one of the reasons why I avoid trailers a lot of the time as well. There's a few trailers that I might watch here and there, but for the most part, I generally avoid watching trailers especially when it comes to comic book movies and sci-fi, and just things that I know what I already want to watch. I generally avoid the trailers, but and that's one of the reasons, because I want to have as little expectations as possible. And I think when you do that, you can just watch the movie for what it is, and maybe you enjoy it, maybe you won't enjoy it, but it is what it is, not what you think it should be. It is what it is, and try to watch the film and rate the film on what it is, and not rather what you think it's going to be, because whatever your expectations are, almost certainly it's not going to be there, and you're just going to be disappointed just based on that fact. So yeah, let the movie be what it is. Let a film do what it needs to do. Whether it's this film, just let it be. And yeah, you might like it, you might not, but I would say that you probably be less disappointed even you might not necessarily like the film, but you'd be less disappointed the less expectations you have about a film going in. But anyway, that's my view on X-Men Dark Phoenix. It's an enjoyable film. I don't know how many times I said it's enjoyable. That's there. It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable out of 10. That's my rating on that. But yeah, see it, don't see it. Like I say, I feel like it's not quite a must see. But hey, if you could get into the cinema, if you got some spare time, or it's not a bad film. I don't think I don't think it's like the complete and utter rubbish that some people exaggerate stuff on the internet. I'm sure you guys know that. It's what gets the clicks, right? But anyway. But yeah, I liked it. I understand why other people might not like it, but also think that some people maybe just don't have, maybe trying to have too many expectations, or as little expectations as possible, and yeah, let it be what it is. So yeah, that's my review. Let me know if you've seen Dark Phoenix. If you liked it, didn't like it, let me know. If you agree, disagree, let me know. Yeah, all that stuff. If you haven't seen it, if you want to see it, all that, let me know. That's gonna be all for now. So guys, until whenever. Oh, if you like, let me do this. I keep forgetting my own belly ending. If you like this video, give it a like and share it amongst your friends. If you did not like it, then give it a dislike and share it amongst your enemies. You can check out more videos, follow me around the web. All links in the description, but that is all for now. So thank you for watching, and until whenever, if ever, rise, Phoenix, rise.